if in Beauty and the Beast it wasn't a beast, but an ant colony? Yes, what if it was Beauty and the Bee movie? What if Beauty was the queen of the ants? That is the premise of a tragic Romanian fairy tale called Furnica, penned by the first queen of Romania, Queen Elisabeth, under her pen name Carmen Silva.
Fucked up fairy tales with Liz.
Ding! Once upon a time, there was a young woman named Viorica, who was very hot, obviously, but it wasn't her looks that made her as attractive as her industry. She was an efficient little worker, and she loved being a workaholic. Unlike many of her peers, she had no interest in marriage because she knew that bringing a man into the house would double her work. For these were the days before egalitarian marriages were even a notion. Still, when Viorica's mother died, she realized a partner would make for a less lonely home. One day as she stood gazing out her front door, a long line of black ants marched up to her door.
"Pardon me, miss,"
they said,
"but we have observed what a productive worker you are and have decided you would make the perfect queen for our colony. If you accept our proposal, we will build you an anthill castle grander than your wildest dreams. So, what do you say?"
Viorica said that sounded great, as long as she was allowed to visit her mother's grave from time to time.
"That is fine,
The ants replied.
but if you speak with a single man on the way there or back, we will consider you a cheating bitch, and our revenge shall be swift."
For some reason, Viorica looked past this circus tent-sized red flag and accepted the proposal. The ants built her a palace that is at once enchanting and a friggin' nightmare. The doors were made of rose leaves with hinges of spider webs, which makes me wonder if Viorica became tiny when she moved in with the ants? Unclear. Her floors were covered with posies, and her walls were covered with carnations, and if that isn't enough to get your nostrils itching, her bed was made of pollen, just straight up pollen, no chaser. She lived among the ants happily for some time, but one day her creepy-crawly subjects flooded her room and cried,
"My queen, evil men are trampling our kingdom with their big, stupid feet. Save us, save us."
So, Viorica ascended to her balcony and waved down the men, who were led by the king's son. She asked the prince to stop stomping the anthills, and she was so fucking hot, he was happy to oblige. She retreated to her palace, and he began plotting how to make Viorica his own. So now I'm thinking that Viorica is human-sized. Maybe? I don't know. Viorica was equally taken with the king's son, so much so that she could not sleep that night, and the next day she could not focus on her queenly, antly duties. This went on, and the ants noticed. So when she declared she would go visit her mother's grave, finally, they were suspicious, and they followed her. They saw her canoodling with the king's son, and she did so all day into the night, rushing back past curfew as if she were a teenager and not a grown woman who willingly married an ant colony. So this is where the ants' revenge comes in. They removed Viorica's rose-leaf doors and stopped them up tight with pine needles.
"You have disgraced this ant colony by cavorting with that hand-footed homo sapien,"
they declared.
"We will continue to follow you as our queen, but you must remain captive here. Try as you might to escape, we will refill the holes. Stomp on us and we will die for the cause. It is worth being squished to defend the honor of our queen."
And so Viorica lived the rest of her days in the anthill palace, absolutely miserable. She wept so loudly and so long that the ants built up her anthill higher and higher around her. The mountain became known as Furnica, or the Ant. And I think it's the worst Beauty and the Beast story I've ever read. If you enjoy stories where people and animals get married, I have a whole section of them in my book, Fucked Up Fairy Tales, Sinful Cinderellas, Prince Alarmings, and Other Timeless Classics, available for pre-order now wherever you buy books. No ants, though. Not a single fucking ant in this book.
Fucked up fairy tales with Liz.
Ding!